Hi everybody, we're just a few days away from Thanksgiving, and we just wanted to take a few minutes, share a short video on how to properly carve a turkey. Some folks like to carve it, the whole bird, right at the table, very traditional. So I'll give you a few tips or show you a few ways how to approach that. Other folks like to make a platter, so what they do is they sort of break the turkey down behind the scenes. You take all the parts off and take the breast off and slice it and then arrange it out on the platter. So first step, I'm going to use the boning knife because I have one. In either way you are going to do it, we want to separate the leg from the breast. You can see we have a nice stretch in the skin there. So we're going to go in between the breast and the leg, and you'll see it's nice and hollow there. And you really just cut that open and you just push the leg down. And then really we just sort of follow that down. And we'll repeat the same thing on the other side. Okay, now if we were carving at the table, we're ready to carve. So our legs are down and detached. So we're going to use whatever tool we're using to sort of just apply a little pressure. So that's going to help, the knife or the piece is not going to slide down or slip, and then it's going to be easy to grab. I always like to start on the thicker part of the breast because you're going to get the most meat out of your slices that way. So depending, we're just going to start slicing in and slice down. And as you get to the bottom, maybe you want to just make a few faster strokes rather than the long back and forth, and this is going to help separate the skin from the meat, and it's not going to tear. And then, as you can see, it's nice, looks nice and moist from that brine. And based on how you or your family, how thick or thin you want it, you're just going to repeat this process all the way down the breast. So we're going to make, once we get into the middle, some nice longer strokes, and then when we get to the bottom, more of a saw-like, and this is going to break off nice even pieces that we can put out on our platter. The next thing I'm going to show you is if you're going to actually take the turkey apart, slice it up, and make it and put it out on the platter. So the first thing that we do is obviously the same step as before. We're going to loosen the legs, push them down, so we have the two breasts here. So we're going to take the breast off. So our boning knife, if you have one, if not, the chef knife would work. You'll be able to feel the bone right here. So what we're going to do is just make an incision there and start going down. You'll feel the side of the knife on the bone. So I like to just go straight across. It's a nice easy cut. And then when you get to the front, you almost follow the bone down until you really start to get it loose. Then you can almost, with your fingers or with tongs, you just give it a little bit of a pull and it's going to loosen the whole breast. Then what you can do is you can come around or turn your turkey around. You're just going to loosen the other side. Same thing, you're going to follow the bone down until you get about halfway down, and then you should be able to almost just take it off with your hands, especially if your bird is cooked properly. It should come right off. So what we'll do is, if you get hung up a little bit, you just make a few incisions, and you'll come down to the bottom, and you'll see the wing bone down here that we're just going to take our breast and we're just going to remove it right off that wing bone. And then if you turn it over, skin is still intact. So this is going to be able to be well sliced and look great on a platter. So we're just going to put that on our cutting board. We'll repeat the same thing on the other side. So the drumsticks, leg and thigh, what you want to do there, very similar. You kind of lift the turkey up. It'll really pull away. We're going to just grab underneath. If you're pulling away and it just comes off, that's great. If you have to give it a few cuts with the knife just to remove it, it's fine. So look here, we have a drumstick and a thigh intact. So we're going to put that on our cutting board, and we're going to repeat the same on the other side. Some people like to use the whole leg and thigh for presentation, depending on how many people you have. I like to separate them, which will make a cut right in between, or if your bird, sometimes it'll just pull right apart. We may have to just give it a little cut where they're connected. And everyone sort of knows what a drumstick looks like, so around the ball of the bottom is where it will disconnect. So we have a nice drumstick. We have a nice thigh. If you pull the skin off a little bit, it's fine. You can just put it back. We'll repeat the same process with the other leg. So you can see here we've removed the breast, some nice equally sliced pieces. Do a little bit on the bias or the angle. It makes it sort of fan out nice for your platter. You can kind of give it a little push to separate it a little bit. So most platters are oval shaped, so it sort of goes along with the side. At this point, you could take it piece by piece. If you're a little uncomfortable with using the knife, or if you have a large spatula, you just want to go underneath and you can pick up the whole breast. Or like I said, you could use a little piece at a time, and then we can fan it out a bit. This is now a good time. You can start going through some of your thigh meat. I like to pick off a few pieces. We'll kind of put the center, break off some of that dark meat off the thigh, and I'll line it with the center. We add our nice drumsticks to the ends, like so. Prop them up a little bit. It looks nice and fancy. And then you can garnish this with some cranberries or some of those herbs if you want to make it really fancy, or if you just want to get it to the table. This is a nice, easy way to do it.